Today on Dr. Phil, is this video racist?
I don't want to turn black!
The dad doesn't think so.
You don't think that's roller coaster in your daughter's emotions? You're taking her up and down.
I did not take her up and
down. Well, let's look at it again. Play the video.
And to prove it,
I was playing a prank with my daughter.
I think that's a bad idea.
It's your opinion?
he'll go head-to-head with Dr. Phil.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I think that your logic that you're getting ready to tell me
Don't
is
tell
that...
me what I'm getting ready to tell you. Let's do it. If we're going to do something here that matters, then we got to deal with the truth.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, three, take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil. Okay, now I'm about to show you a video, and it went viral recently and stirred up a real controversy. Now, some people say it's a prime example of racism and bad parenting, and others say that, hey, come on, lighten up. It's just a joke. We don't have to be politically correct all the time. So I want you to look at it and see what your reaction is, and then we'll talk about it. Take a look.
I don't want to turn black!
What?
I don't want to turn black!
Why don't you want to turn black?
And I don't want to!
But what'll happen? What's the difference?
And I don't want to be black!
You will still be able to wear the same clothes. You'll have the same toys. You'll still play with Yo-Yo. You'll still live here with us.
What am I gonna ride my bike?
You can ride your bike. You can be our little black bike rider.
No, I don't want to be black.
Listen, all little girls, when they turn 4, they turn just a little bit black. You're not gonna be like all the way black. You'll be like brown, like Daddy's sweater.
Like brown?
Like an M&M.
Okay, M&M?
Yeah, like, you know when we go to the store and you buy the M&Ms and they're all the different colors?
Oh, yeah.
You're just gonna be like a brown M&M. You're not gonna be like all the way like black, like the sky dark black. Not like that. Just like chocolate. Do you want to be chocolate? That'll be fun? No, but you're gonna be all the way black. So that's...
No.
Yeah, you're gonna be like midnight, like 8 ball.
Cristiano, what are you doing?
My little racist 3.
Okay, now, if you think that's okay, it's just having fun on the couch, stand up. It's on? If you think, no, that is inappropriate and it's racist, stand up. Okay, sit down. You might be wondering why someone would make a video like this. Well, let's hear what he says. Take a look.
I've pulled pranks on my daughter many times like any father would. My daughter, she was getting ready to go to bed, and she brought a couple dolls up to me, and she asked me why some of them were white and some of them weren't white. I decided to pull a little prank on her, and then that's when I told her that all little girls on their 4th birthday turn black. My wife started recording the video. My daughter's initial reaction was obviously like any kid. She was scared of change.
No.
Yeah. I posted the video on YouTube about 5 months ago, just a way to share it with most of my family. I had no idea that any of this was going to go viral. The reaction that I got online, it was mixed. I would say 90 to 95% of it was good, and then the other 5% was a little bit scary. People were saying a lot of horrible things about me and my daughter. We got death threats, people saying they wanted to kidnap her. It was definitely shocking. I've gotten 1,000 comments where people were saying we were subpar parents, you know, for playing a joke and inflicting mental abuse on my kid. I don't see how people can find it offensive. Even my black friends that know me thought the video was hilarious.
Okay, thanks for being here, Ryan.
Absolutely.
I'm glad, because this is a controversial issue. You said that this was 95% positive. Where do you get that from? Because I've looked at the message boards, the comments under this video. I've looked at message boards where it's been discussed in the media, and I've polled my audience. And I got exactly the opposite direction. 95% of the people plus said no, inappropriate, racist, not good parenting.
Sure.
But yet you say 95% of the people say, where are you getting that? Because I don't see anywhere.
I follow the actual numbers on YouTube. Under each YouTube video, it allows you to comment on a video. It allows you to either like or dislike a video. And then it'll also allow you to link to other videos. And
okay, but the like or dislike doesn't say I endorse the content here. That just means I found this interesting, correct?
It could be interpreted that way, but actually the opinion...
But I don't think it's 95% of the people saying, I think that's great that you did that.
I've been following the comments pretty close as well myself, and most people that watch the video take time to actually look at my YouTube channel. Most of those people are saying, yeah, you know what, it's a harmless prank.
Well, I'm not really concerned with why you put it up. I'm concerned with what your thought process was in doing it. But you're okay that you put this up, right?
Absolutely.
You don't regret it at all?
Not at all.
And you don't regret what you did with your daughter?
No.
And you don't regret her reaction?
No.
Now, Ryan's wife actually asked him to take the video down, right?
A few times.
But he didn't. Here's what she has to say about it.
When Ryan posted the video, it created a big uproar.
I don't want to turn black.
If I could turn back time, I wouldn't have recorded the video. I've been reading the comments on YouTube, and they're just very negative comments about my daughter, horrible. Some of the people stating that we were racist, some of them were saying, well, wait till your daughter brings home a big black dude, just horrible things that they shouldn't be saying about a child. Upset me a little bit. Some people were just saying that he was a racist and part of the KKK. I want people to know the truth about my family and that we are not racist. I'm concerned when I drop her off at school, somebody's gonna see her and say, oh, that's the little racist girl from the video, because it's gone so big, and it just makes me really nervous.
Okay, now, so you think it's inappropriate for people to be playing the race card on this and saying it's racist, because that wasn't your intent at all?
I can understand the race card. Anytime that I think the race issue is brought up, I think that you're always going to have a mix of some people that are very, very sensitive about race, and then you're also going to have people that aren't so sensitive, that just understand race is part of this world. I mean, you know...
Well, but you brought it up.
I was playing a prank with my daughter.
No, you said at the end. Can I have the very last bite of that?
Christiana, what are you doing?
My little racist 3.
My little racist 3-year-old.
Correct.
Do you think that's appropriate to say?
It's clearly not a racist video. It's me joking with my daughter.
But you say at the end, my little racist 3-year-old. Mm-hmm. And you say it with pride, my little racist 3-year-old.
It wasn't a pride. I was actually laughing as I said it, because it's, when you're saying something serious, you wouldn't laugh. You would maintain a straight voice. At the end, you can kind of hear me chuckle as I say it, like, wow, we didn't expect any of this, you know? We were filming my daughter. We didn't even expect any of this to happen on video, which was kind of made it, you know, so controversial.
Now, Ryan says even my black friends find this video hilarious, but some disagree. They even created a counter video called I Don't Want to Turn White. Well, we'll talk to them when we come back.
I saw the video. I can see the humor in it. Was I offended? No, not at all.
I don't want to turn black.
It was actually cruel to me, what he was doing.
I personally found the video to be offensive, that another race is something scary to turn into. That bothered me a lot.
There used to be like a brown M&M.
I really don't think that he's racist, but I feel that the taunting was unnecessary.
A little bit of racist humor at a young age turns into large racist acts as an adult, probably.
I don't want to be black.
Having kids, I would never be proud of putting a video on the internet of me making a child of mine cry.
You can be our little black bike rider.
I didn't think anything he said was funny, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth getting murdered for. If people think this particular clip is racist, they are extremely overreacting.
Well, today we're talking about whether a child can be blamed when they say things that some people perceive as racist. Now, Trey says this video is definitely racist and makes him just really angry. Trey, what you're thinking?
Well, first of all, I have a 2-year-old, and if you can't see how wrong this is, you're a jackass.
Okay.
Okay? First of all. I feel sorry for your beautiful little girl there. She's beautiful.
Thank you.
And you're not giving her a chance. Okay. You're raising her the wrong way. I have a great sense of humor. I'm a funny guy also. But there's nothing funny about that video whatsoever.
Okay.
So what offended you about it? What parts of it offended you?
Just the fact that he's egging it on. You know, that's a coaching time. That's a time to teach her that, okay, you have a black doll and a white doll. There's nothing different about these dolls at all. They are the same doll, just a different color. That's your time to actually teach her, not sit there and make a joke about it, and she's crying over it. That's what gets me. He's sitting there egging it on and not teaching her anything. Teaching her the wrong things.
If you look at the beginning of the clip, she was actually crying when the clip started. She was getting ready to go to bed. It's not like I worked her into a frenzy state. That, I believe, would be wrong.
But you kept it going, though.
I did.
You kept it going the wrong way. You put it in the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
My little black child riding a bike, I mean, come on now.
I understand race is a sensitive issue, and it's something that, again, just the way that I am, I address everything lighthearted, no matter what the issue is.
We're adults,
in
though.
context.
Your daughter's 4 years old.
My daughter was already worked up. I didn't.
Well, but you understand there are differences there. There is an affected class here among African Americans that have been discriminated against, that have been the targets of racism for generations and generations. That's in that history, that's not in the white history. So there is a difference between the two.
I'm not following the logic there. So does that mean that it's so?
I don't know.
That comment itself would kind of be racist again. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So someone else can make a joke, but I can't make the same joke.
You think that's the stupidest thing you've ever heard?
I think that your logic that you're getting ready to tell me is then that I can't ever be lighthearted or joke about race ever.
Well, don't tell me what I'm getting ready to tell you.
Because someone else.
You can't label me pre-stupid. You have to wait for me to say it.
Okay.
One couple was upset that the little girl in the video was being called a racist by people on the internet, which I think would be stupid to call this little girl racist. You and I could agree with that. So they decided to pull the same so-called prank on their biracial niece. Take a look.
Hi, Katie. How old are you? 3. You know when you turn 4, you're going to turn white.
I don't want to be white.
Why?
Because I don't want to.
You can still ride your bike. You still go to school. You can be white like the clouds. See? Little white girls have lights like that, too. What color are you now?
This color.
What color is this color?
White.
Okay, that was done by Lacey and Prince. Now, you guys did this, right? The two of you. What was your thinking and what was your reaction?
We basically did the video to try to see if we get the same reaction that Christiana gave.
And to show kids don't know the difference. Kids, she's obviously biracial. She is white, and she's saying she doesn't want to be white. So we kind of did it to deflect it from her and show it's not on her.
Yeah. So, and y'all know each other,
yes,
right?
We do.
Yes, we do.
You know each other for a long time?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do y'all get along?
We get along fine. We get along fine. I don't. The issue I have with his video is at the end, because during the video when he said you could be brown like Eminem, she was okay with that.
And then
when he
took it
said
back to being racist.
black, then it became like she got angry, and at the end of the video when he said my little racist 3-year-old, that's kind of it stirred up a little commotion on my behalf, like, you know.
And I honestly feel like it was racially motivated from the beginning. Like, maybe he went into it with the intention and he tried to change it into something else in the end when he said my little racist 3-year-old, took it back to what his intention was. And I feel that his intention was being racist.
And you say your relationship is good, but you say the relationship is soured a bit.
I'm friends with his wife.
You don't even claim him, huh?
I've never spoke to him.
Yeah, the one that wanted to take it down.
Right.
So would you do this again if you had to do over?
Sure.
You don't think there's anything about it that you would change in any way?
I think that people looking into a clip that's 1 minute and 34 seconds long and determining whether my belief system, whether I'm a racist, whether I'm not a racist, whether I'm a good parent, whether I'm a bad parent, I think that's, if you can make that determination in 1 minute and 34 seconds, you're an outstanding doctor.
I certainly think it's inappropriate for people to label your daughter in any negative way whatsoever. I mean, this is a child. Come on, people. This is a child. Don't be dogging on the child. What I will tell you is that I don't think that's very good parenting. I think to frustrate a child and then get her feeling better and then frustrate her again to get a reaction out of her. She's 4. that can come back to haunt you in the future. You're taking her up and down.
I did not take her up and down.
Well, let's look at it again. Play the video.
How many times you got to see it?
Play the video. Cue it up. Let's play it.
Little black bike rider.
No, I don't want to be black.
Listen, all little girls, when they turn 4, they turn just a little bit black. You're not gonna be like all the way black. You'll be like brown, like Daddy's sweater.
Like brown?
Like an M&M.
Okay, M&M?
Yeah, like, you know when we go to the store and you buy the M&Ms and they're all the different colors?
Oh, yeah.
You're just gonna be like a brown M&M. You're not gonna be like all the way like black.
So now you're not going to be like Ollie Black. She's happy, right?
She's happy. Now here comes the only time
she's yucking it up. Okay, go ahead.
The sky dark black, not like that. Just like chocolate. Do you want to be chocolate? That'll be fun? No, but you're going to be all the way black. So that's...
No.
Yeah, you're going to be like midnight, like...
Okay, now you want to tell me again how you didn't go up and down with her? Okay, she got happy because you're going to be like an M&M. Hey, okay, hee, she's giggling, and then you say, no, read the line. You're going to be midnight.
Like an April.
And she's getting ready to slap you.
Sure.
I think it's not a good idea to frustrate children emotionally on purpose.
I agree.
And I think that's exactly what you're doing here when she gets happy, and then you say, well, you're going to be like midnight.
Yeah, I pulled a joke on my kid.
Okay, and I'm saying I think that's a bad idea. Okay. And this is more than about you. It's for like all the parents out there.
Okay.
Okay, got it? Anything else you want to say?
It's your opinion.
I want to know what you guys think. Is this video racist, yes or no? You can go to drphil.com and take our poll. Coming up, who's to blame in my next guest home? The mother says things are so bad she has to barricade herself in her room to protect herself from the 14-year-old daughter. The daughter says, well, actually, mom's the problem here. We'll be right back.
I am barricading my bedroom door. You are mean. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Please help me, Dr. Phil.
In my next story, we have a mother and daughter with a lot of problems going on. Who's to blame? Now, Leslie says she's at the end of her rope with her 14-year-old daughter, Hannah. Mom says things are so bad that she's resorted to sealing all the windows shut and sleeping near the door to prevent her daughter from sneaking out at night. Take a look.
Hannah, you need to calm down.
I'm getting pissed off because you won't get the up.
I am barricading my bedroom door.
I hate you. Now get the up.
You are mean. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Please help me, Dr. Phil.
I fight with my daughter, Hannah, a lot. Sometimes our fights do turn into violent, raging fights.
You're just trying to get back at me for
I'm not trying to get back at you for anything,
yes,
Hannah.
You are.
I'm not talking to you when you're this way.
You're
It's gotten out of control. Hannah has gotten to where she stands up to me. She has hit me. She has kicked me. Hannah has left bruises. She has hit mirrors and broken them. She slams doors. She hits walls. She throws things. She kicks things.
on your glasses, pig.
I have fought back at her. I think it's pouring gasoline onto a fire.
Get away from me.
When I'm driving, Hannah hits me or kicks me. What scares me more than anything is the fact that when that happens, I can lose control of my car and hit somebody. I'm very afraid of my daughter at times. I am afraid of the fight. I am afraid of what's going to happen if Hannah does not get her way. I sleep lightly. Whenever Hannah and I have had bad fights, I've been afraid that Hannah may come at me in the middle of the night. I walk on eggshells 24/7. My greatest fear with Hannah is that she's going to end up in jail and I'll never have a chance to see her grow up. I am at wit's end. I've given up. I don't have hope. There is no hope in my house.
I said no!
What do you want to see happen here today?
I want to see Hannah be whole again. I want to see our relationship be whole again. And I want us to get the help that we need because that's no way to live.
Okay, you get that this isn't a Hannah problem. Children are born differently, different DNA, different chemistries and that sort of thing, but they are hugely impacted by their environment, by their learning history, by their interactive patterns with the key people in their life, principally you being the mother. The problems you got now were seeds you planted years ago. This didn't just happen because she hit the teens. Now, there are dramatic changes that happen to kids' brains. You've heard me talk about that before. Her brain isn't through growing yet. And kids are supposed to test the limits and do things when they hit 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's a natural order of things, but this has gone beyond the natural order of things.
Yes, sir.
She says that you have told her you don't want to be a mother anymore, that you've threatened to leave her, that you've called her a bitch, a slut, the word, stupid, retarded, and a dumbass.
I have not called her a slut. I have never called her that. But I am guilty of cussing at her, yes, sir.
I made a list of 10 things that I think you're making mistakes about. Let's look at the list. Number one, you are modeling unstable behavior. You're cussing and name-calling. We've gone over that. Number two, you're yelling rather than discussing with her. Frustration has taken you over, right? This has gotten into a yell fest.
It's the only way we talk to each other.
But that's not talking. That's
no,
that's
it's not.
Talking.
You're right.
Number three, you're modeling violent behavior. She says that you've hit her, pushed her, and you say on one occasion you actually took a swing at her.
Well, out of defense, yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, okay. Choking in a fit of anger. She says that you have choked her in a fit of anger to the point that she couldn't really breathe. I would put that under your frustration heading. Did you do that?
She started hitting me, and for me to get her to stop, where I grabbed, yes, sir.
Okay, well, you see the asterisk by it?
Yes, sir.
I put an asterisk by it because she has one version of that and you have another. So I acknowledge that on the tape here. Next, throwing and slamming things. Should you thrown a phone at her? You slam doors and threatening to quit as a... In fact, you have left at times, and she worries if you're going to come back. She says that one time you told her to slit her throat. You just hope she slits her throat. Well, that's why I put an asterisk by it. That's what she says. Relying on police and teachers to parent the child. Look, you can delegate certain things, but you can't abdicate to them. This has got to start and stop with you. Withdrawing from interactions, either through yelling or removing yourself physically. And then lastly, failing to take care of yourself. You got to take care of this child's mother. Is this a fair list, except for the asterisk things that you have a different version of?
The relying on police and teachers to parent the child, what am I supposed to do, though, when she's that belligerent?
If there's a time that you have to do that for safety purposes, I don't disagree with that. But there's a lot in your words. You said, she gets so belligerent. We just went over the fact that it isn't just she, you get belligerent. Listen, her behavior is hugely inappropriate. There's no question about it, hugely inappropriate. That can't continue. No. It can't continue, it has to change. But I can't change her in a vacuum. You need to get some common sense back to you here and calm down. You have let her pull you to her level. It's like we've got a couple of 14-year-olds and they're yelling and screaming at each other. Come on, you know that's not right. This gets way ugly at home, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
And you're right in the big middle of it. When in fact you're supposed to be the calm in the eye of the storm, the leader that walks us through these things. Now Leslie says that she lives in fear of Hannah, her 14-year-old. So we're going to have Hannah join us next. She's not been watching this up until now. So she's going to come out fresh, but we're going to add her to the mix in just a minute.
I had to pull Hannah out of school her 8th grade year. Hannah was in a lot of trouble at school.
I got kicked out for getting in a fight with a girl. No! She pushed me to the computers, and I grabbed the girl by her neck, dug my nail into her throat, and just started pounding her face.
It was 2:30 in the morning. We were fighting, and I called the police. I was on the phone with them. She grabbed a knife and put it up to her throat and said, if you call the cops, I'm going to kill myself. By that time, the police were outside. The police officer came inside. He had a taser, and he told her if she didn't put the knife down, he was going to tase her. She dropped the knife. He handcuffed her immediately, took her out of my house. She was in the car kicking the windows, out of control. And at that point, he told me he was committing her.
Well, Leslie says that her 14-year-old daughter, Hannah, is the one to blame for the chaos in their relationship. You're the adult in this, so you've got to take a huge step back and stop reacting the way you're reacting. So, you know, she said that her daughter was responsible for this chaos. I think I've convinced her otherwise. And her daughter, Hannah, never did agree. Take a look at what she says.
My mom is sensitive. She's dramatic. She's always in defense mode. If I do little bitty things, no, and she goes crazy. So red! It gets physical. She'll come at me sometimes. When I push her back, she'd get worse. So it kind of like escalated.
Boys.
My mom chokes me when she gets mad. She comes at me swinging, punching me. She'll grasp me and slap me, and she's kicked me. After I get in a fight, I'm kind of like, why would you do that? Are you crazy? Why would you choke your own child? Why? That's way out of line. My mom has threatened that she's gonna kill herself, overdose. She had a bottle in her hand. She was about to overdose, and I said, well, I mean, how would you feel if I did that, if I was doing that right now? She said, well, here, do it, and we'll both do it. When my mom gets angry, she calls me a dumbass. She calls me a bitch, stupid, retarded. She called me pretty much everything. I want Dr. Phil to tell my mom that it's not just me. She needs to open her eyes and realize that she's done things wrong.
Okay, so that's a fair representation of your position?
Sure.
Speak up.
Yeah.
I'm sure speak up at home. So don't come out here and honey lip me now. How's this working for you?
What?
I mean,
What do you
what's it
mean?
like at home? I mean, are you having fun at home?
No, not really, not necessarily. I am sometimes, but it's not, you know, what it's supposed to be.
Do you get tired of yelling and screaming with your mother?
Oh, yeah.
So why do you do it? Because look, you're old enough at this point that you have to start being responsible for your choices. Yeah. You know, if you're 2 or 3 and you're having a tantrum in the line at the grocery store, then, you know, we kind of have to redirect you and start, you know, shaping you up. But by the time you're 14, you're making some conscious choices here. And have you hit your mother?
Mm-hmm.
Have you fought with your mother?
Yes, I have.
And it's not just your mother. You do it other places too, right?
Well, I have once, and that was at school.
Well, you have a little trouble at school, right? It says you were suspended and expelled for fighting, throwing gum in a teacher's hair, stealing and smoking. You've had out-of-school suspensions, in-school suspensions. You've been scheduled for teacher conference like 3 different times. That was all in 09.
Yeah.
Then in 10, you were out-of-school suspension 3 times, in-school suspension 2 times, expelled for fighting. Then this year, you've been in detention. You've been sneaking out. You've had physical altercations with your mother 2 or 3 times a month. You've kicked her while driving. Did you disappear here in LA Saturday night? And so my producers were looking for you for hours on end? My producers that have children and homes and families and stuff, they spent Saturday night looking for you. Where were you?
I was walking around, like, the boulevard stuff. And
You were walking around
climbed a
Hollywood
mountain.
Boulevard at midnight on Saturday night. You're how old?
14, and I climbed a mountain.
Yeah, let me tell you, you could fill this room with what you don't know. If you're making a decision at 14 to go walk around LA at 2 in the morning, then somebody needs to put you on a really short leash because you don't know the danger that you're putting yourself in. You could have been raped or dead. Let me tell you, there are some bad, bad people on the streets of LA. When we come back, Leslie thinks that Hannah is embarrassed by her because she's so overweight. We're going to talk about that, and then pretty soon I'm going to say what I think needs to happen here. We'll be right back.
My self-esteem is at an all-time low, and I think that on the outside I have a pretty face, but down below it's not. My weight is approximately 350 pounds. I don't feel attractive. It's my weight. Who's gonna want this? Food has become my drug of choice. It numbs that pain that I feel because Hannah and I fight. Food has been my companion. Food has been my friend. Whenever everybody else lets me down, food has always been there.
I greatest fear was my relationship with my mom, losing her, and her just not waking up in the morning. Her weight causes stress for her. So if you put the weight and then the stress from us fighting together, it's not a good outcome. My mom could have a stroke or a heart attack, and that's what I'm scared of. I don't want her to die.
Leslie says that her 14-year-old daughter is so out of control that she has gained over 100 pounds, stress eating, comforting herself with food. Hannah says it's her mom who's out of control, and her weight does affect their relationship. You say it affects it because why?
Because when, like, I want to do things, like, you know, walk outside or something, I'm going to want her to come with me or something, you know, so we can walk and spend time with each other. But she never wants to because she gets tired really easily from what you tell me. She gets tired and it's a struggle for her, and, you know, she's not ever up for anything because of her weight. It's not that I'm embarrassed of her. It's just, you know, I'm not embarrassed. I just want to spend more time with you.
Are you aware that people in her world have made derogatory comments about you before and
Yes,
criticized your weight, and that she has stood up for you,
Yes, sir.
chapter and verse, and defended her mother?
Yes, sir, I have.
How do you feel about that?
I don't want her to have to do that. She shouldn't have to defend me because of my weight. I appreciate it, but I think it makes more problems for her.
Mm-hmm. Sure it does.
And it makes her life harder.
But you understand that when people make those comments, you don't know how bad that affects me, though, because you're my mom, and I know I treat you bad, but I love you. In my opinion of you, you know, I love you. You're my mom.
And
it's
when
never going to
people
change.
make those comments to you, it breaks my heart for you.
You blame her for your weight gain.
It's not just Hannah. It is the fact that I don't have, it's just the two of us where we live. Family is about 4 hours away. I'm a single mother. I work. I rob Peter to pay Paul, and Paul wants his bills. We fight, and then...
I guess what it is, when she comes home from work or something and I come home from school, we both had a stressful day. And already, like when we get to, as soon as I get to the car, she's already stressed out, I'm stressed out, it's bad energy.
Whenever I've come home from work, if I can just have 15 minutes to unwind and just decompress from the day, things would go a lot smoother. Just 15 minutes is all I ask, and usually...
But normally if I ask you, like, all right, I can understand that, you know. I can understand that, and I know I bother you in your 15 minutes. But I say stuff to you. I can understand that where you're coming from, though, because when you say stuff to me, I overreact to it. I know I overreact to it. I know this. But, like, when I was, like, you know, younger, remember when you would try to teach me math and stuff? You got so mad because I didn't understand it. You remember that? You remember how you called me all these names. You remember that? You called me all these names and you put me down and you called me stupid because I didn't understand math. The way you were teaching me, I guess that did build up a lot of anger, though. Because those were, it's okay. I've said things to you, too.
Does anybody notice that what's just happened here is we've just had what's called a conversation?
I knew he was going to say that.
Seriously, we've just had what was called a conversation here. How do you feel about the fact that you just had what I thought was a very reasonable and healthy conversation with your daughter?
It was probably one of the first ones.
Yeah, see, I'm really good.
Yeah.
It only took 15 years to have a 30-second conversation without yelling, screaming, choking, and no knives were involved. So who's to blame here? The truth is there's an awful lot that these two don't know that is going on that's affecting both of them. I'm going to say what that is when we come back. I'm going to put some verbs in my sentences, and we're going to start the road back to a healthy relationship. We'll be right back.
Bob tells me sometimes that she doesn't want to be a mom anymore. I hate you! Now get the f*** up! She says I've ruined most of her friendships. Because of the way I act and the way I am.
I don't give a if you're gonna shut it or not, just shut it!
When she says that, it makes me feel upset, like not wanted or that I'm not loved, that I was a mistake to her.
When Hannah and I fight, it kills me.
We are not going. You've already made the choice.
I'm worn out, tired. I don't have any fight left in me.
I don't know how much more of this I can take.
And I've been to the point in my life where if I'm not doing it right, is she better off without me? I have felt like a complete and total failure as a mom.
Well, I'm here with Leslie and Hannah. Leslie's the mother, Hannah's the daughter most of the time. But then sometimes there are two 14-year-olds that yell and scream at each other. Are you proud of yelling and screaming?
No, I'm not proud of that.
And throwing bombs at your mother? Do you think it's becoming and ladylike?
It's way past that. I'm not proud of it. I just say I'm not proud of it.
You really are old enough that it's time now for you to start doing some more mature choices. But you're at a choice point. You can calm down and start recognizing the two of you are in this together. Do you know what self-esteem means? Give me your definition of self-esteem.
Well, where you have self-confidence.
How you feel about yourself, the qualities and values you assign to yourself. Do you think your mother has high self-esteem? You think she has low self-esteem? Why?
Simply because of her weight. She always puts herself down. Always. That's all she does is put herself down.
Would it surprise you to know that it probably started a long, long time ago?
No, I know it started with my dad, didn't it? Pretty much.
Started a long time before that. Because the truth is, you've had some really bad things happen to you when you were growing up, right?
Yes, sir.
And some people were really inappropriate with you. It really changes the way you feel about yourself. If you think you're just really unattractive, then you don't have to deal with relationships, do you? And you don't have to deal with intimacy. And so it's real easy to kind of hide in there, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But isn't it really lonely in there?
Very lonely.
And then you get really frustrated. And who's a handy target?
Hannah.
I went down through what's going on here, and honestly, I am stunned at what's happening with this young lady. She's been diagnosed with ADHD. I don't know that that's right, but I believe it's wrong. I believe it's wrong, and in 70% of the cases, that diagnosis is wrong. It's kind of a wastebasket diagnosis. Somebody's not doing right, we just call them ADHD. And ADHD is a very real syndrome. It is a very genuine, neurologically based syndrome. And if you treat it with the medications for that very real syndrome, when they don't have it, it can be a real problem. Because what you give those folks are stimulants to stimulate the cortical activity. If they don't have a lessened activity, then it throws them into anxiety. Okay, then she's been on Prozac. At 12, she's on Prozac. And then they give her what, Buspar for anxiety, so they give her the ADHD meds which drive the anxiety, then they give her the anti-anxiety agents to counteract the anxiety, and then they drop Prozac on a 12-year-old. And then she starts reporting blackouts. This is a neurological, biochemical, hormonal soup. I'm not making an excuse for you, but we got to straighten this out. We got to get you physically calmed down. And then you have to start making better choices. And you've got to stop hiding inside this parka you've put on here. And you guys are going to need some more of what we're doing here. I'm going to get you some professional help to sit down with you guys and work out some agreements. And you need to stick to the things you agree to. And you need to get your education. Honest to God, or you're going to have a crummy life. Get your education. Get through school and quit being such a brat at school. And you're going to have to get yourself in shape. Start taking care of yourself. Model better behavior for her. Now, there's another show on television that you've probably seen called The Doctors.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now, I really like that show. A, I'm one of the executive producers. B, my son created it and runs that show. And I have made arrangements because I want them to get involved with working out the medical aspects of what's going on here. So we're going to have you evaluated fully by that medical team over there, and we're going to get you in shape. Now, there's a new cast member on that show by the name of Jillian Michaels.
Oh my God.
Okay?
Mama, oh my God.
And she is your new best friend. Okay? So.
Oh my God, look at you.
So
You're
we are
get
going
beat
to.
up.
Yes, yes. You think she's problems? Wait till little Jillian gets her hooks into you. All right, we'll be right back. For more information about today's show, go to drphil.com. We got a plan for you guys. We're going to work on it. Thank you all for coming here and talking about all of this. I think we had a good discussion about it. At least most of us did. Thanks for being here. So long. There you go. Bye. Here you go. Yeah. Thanks.
I love that reaction, Jillian. So that kid.